Eric with Never Was Sports here, and we're testing a couple of things. One thing we're testing today is we're going to be testing the SC4 by SwingCaddie, also known as the Orbit by Orion. Both of those are the same hardware, and we'll be testing it versus the Skytrak, just to see how it compares to a device that is 4 or 5 times the price. Going to be using E6 software for both of them, so let's see how those numbers compare when I put them head to head on the exact same shots. So here we are getting started with some 7-iron. These are my first few shots in the last couple of months, so it took a little while to get warmed up. And as you can see, the data, there's quite a significant difference between the two simulators here. The SC4 is shorter and more narrow dispersion, whereas the Skytrak is a little bit longer and a little bit wider. A couple of things here that are kind of interesting. The SC4 actually was showing distances that I'm more accustomed to when I'm out on the course, whereas the Skytrak was significantly longer. And one of the reasons for that, I can get more in depth later, but one of the reasons for that is the SC4 actually has higher spin because it combines the spin from the back spin and the side spin, and that kind of results in the straighter shots since there's no hooks or slices, but a higher spin rate. So here we are getting into the driver, and so we're getting into the driver here, and you can see that the distances are, again, it's a little bit more narrow because of the fact that the spin being captured by the SC4, but the distances were actually fairly similar, as well as all the club head speed and direction data. It's all fairly similar. So, as I was saying back when we were on the 7-irons, the higher spin that's created by the malfunctioning SC4 hardware, which I understand they're trying to fix, actually caused my spin numbers to be closer to what they are in real life, and that actually resulted in more accurate distances. You can see as we go through here, there's a common theme of distances that are a little bit shorter, but dispersions that are a little bit closer together. And that's, again, all it comes down to is the spin there. That's the one big difference between these things. And I'm going to get a little bit more into it too, because I have data here at the end that breaks down everything. So I'm going through all the clubs here. You'll notice that I stop at pitching wedge, and I actually did shoot both gap wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge, as well as some woods. But I actually found that the SC4 read the wedges quite well, but struggled with the fairway woods off the deck, and the Skytrak really struggled with full wedge shots. So I couldn't get good head-to-head data for them. Alright, so here we go. We're getting into the head speed here, and you can see it kind of varies a little bit by club, but generally they're pretty close to each other, which is, good to see that they're both getting similar data there. I kind of feel like I trust the data coming off of the radar-based SC4 a little bit more than the Skytrak. See here with the ball speed, again, they kind of stay close to each other, and they're close, which is interesting. So overall, like both speed things, they're fairly close. I feel like the SC4 might be actually slightly more accurate here. Now we're getting into the distances here. With the carry distance, you see that there's a drop off in what the SC4 gets, and that, I believe, is due to the higher spin it gets from the fact that it's combining both side spin and back spin to create this super high spin number, which actually, when you're hitting off of a turf mat, is actually probably a little bit closer to real grass than you would expect there. Again, total distance affected again by the fact that the spins are much higher, therefore the balls are stopping a little bit more. But like I said, there's been a noticeable difference between turf and actual grass. Now here we go. Here's the spin numbers. As you can see, almost the whole way through the bag, the spin numbers are significantly higher on the SC4, but there's a couple of clubs that it ends up being lower, and that's actually because those shots were ones that are hit very straight with very little side spin. As you can see here, the side spin. One thing you'll notice here is there's absolutely no SC4 data. That's because every shot has 0 side spin. And again, from what I understand, it's something that SwingCaddie and Orion are working on to try and get that spin axis figured out. Launch angle, again, fairly consistent between the two of them. They both gave pretty good data here. I feel like the SC4 might be a little bit more accurate here as well. And this is one that was kind of interesting. The launch direction. This one here, I actually found the SC4 did much better than the Skytrak. The Skytrak, often if there was a fairly straight shot within under 1 degree left or right, it actually read it as 0. So I trust that the SC4 was a little bit better. So here's my total conclusions. As you can see here, I've kind of broken it down out of 5 for these categories. So as you can see, some of these, I feel like the SC4 does better when it comes to speed and direction, but it's awful when it comes to spin. And so the SC4 is way cheaper at under $600 compared to the almost $2,000 Skytrak, and the Skytrak has higher annual fees for subscriptions, whereas the SC4 you can get the Orion software for relatively cheap, or you can just get E6 and it works great just out of the box even without any software. So I gave the win to the Skytrak here, but just barely, and I think once they figure out the spin stuff, the SC4 is going to probably pull out ahead as a better option. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate you tuning in to check out the video. If you could check out a few more of my videos, maybe like, subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. And leave a comment down below. Let me know you're here. Say hi. Thanks for talking to me. See you next time.